I can't tell you specifics about his policies, but what I will tell you is that it was not for Donald Trump, we might still be living next to gang members because everything changed after he was elected.
They didn't hold press conferences when you couldn't pay your rent or your mortgage. They didn't hold press conferences when people couldn't afford gas and groceries. They didn't hold press conferences when entire Venezuelan gangs took over apartment complexes in Colorado. They didn't hold press conferences when there was no aid and the people of North Carolina were suffering. They didn't hold press conferences when the train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, and all the members of the community were scared that they were living in contaminated areas. They didn't hold press conferences when they botched the withdrawal from Afghanistan and 13 members of our military lost their lives. As a matter of fact, one looked at his watch. They didn't hold a press conference when they left $80 billion of military-grade equipment in Afghanistan. They didn't hold press conferences when kids and parents were begging schools to free their face. They didn't hold press conferences when they lied to you about inflation and printed 40% of the money that is in circulation today. But now the Democrats are crying crocodile tears because somebody got a hold of their slush money and they're holding press conferences. Now they're on the street breaking down, protesting because their $70 billion a year slush fund is down the toilet and they can't take advantage of the American people anymore. Just let you know, they hate you.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise, and we got to talk about it, man. These Democrats, they lie. They've ignored for years Americans struggling with rent, groceries, crime, flooding the neighborhoods. And while the people beg for relief, they gave more lies, lockdowns, and lectures. I mean, it's good to see people starting to wake up, but in my opinion, it's not happening fast enough because the truth is the Democrat Party has defrauded this country for decades. They lied about Biden's health, lied about the 2024 economy, lied about the vaccines, lied about mandates, lied even about the DEI situation. They lied about protecting the middle class while gutting it. Liberals need to snap out of it. If you're still supporting the Democrat Party, wake the heck up. You are voting for, you are supporting people who clearly hate you. They're showing you. I'm a firm believer. When people show you who they are, believe them. The Democrat Party cares more about illegal immigrants than they care about their own constituents, American citizens. People are starting to get fed up, but I need this to happen quicker. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it.
So you were a Democrat?
I was my whole life.
Really?
I first voted for Bill Clinton and voted Democrat every single year until, November.
And what do you think of Trump now? What do you think of his policies on deportation?
You know what? I can't tell you specifics about his policies, but what I will tell you is that it was not for Donald Trump, we might still be living next to gang members because everything changed after he was elected.
So you feel a lot safer now that he's in the White House again? I
do, because he's taking it seriously. The Democrats simply ignored it. They said it was lies. They won't talk to people who have been victimized by this.
Now, I know you said you were a gun owner.
I am.
Yeah. Are you a gun owner?
Now we are.
Because of this?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you've turned from like a Democrat, Bill Clinton supporter to now a gun owner. Did you think that would happen?
Never in my life. I'm the last person, absolutely the last person. I used to have a group called Teachers United for Immigrant Rights. We can't just have anyone cross the border. And if they're showing us that their intentions are not to live in a peaceful way with us, then why not deport them? And so people are arguing about the policies of that, and they're talking about due process. But I think we need to look at, do we interpret due process for people who have crossed our border illegally differently than U.S. citizens? Because I think we also have due process, right? I mean, we're talking about the right to live peacefully.
Absolutely. And we all have the right to live peacefully. We all should have that right. Here it is. This lady, former Democrat, decided this time around in 24 to support President Donald Trump out of necessity because she was in a situation, you know, in her home, in her neighborhood that was not safe. I don't know if this is Colorado. I'm not 100% sure. But you guys recall, we talked about this last year, towards the end of the year, I guess September, October timeframe, when Trinidad Wiger, they basically took over an entire apartment complex. You'd have thought you were watching New Jack City and they were taking over the Carter. It was crazy. You know it's bad when the people, this lady said she was about had a club or was part of a group, teachers for migrants. This is crazy. But elections have consequences. And a lot of people, that's the one thing about Americans, we have a heart of gold. We understand, I think a good amount of us understand how blessed we are, and we want to share that with the world. And we want to help people. But at the same time, helping people, but you can't help people and put yourself in harm's way. You know what I'm saying? You can't help people and ignore your own citizens. And that's what the Democrat Party is doing, and that's what they've been doing. Now, she said that she was a Bill Clinton liberal, Bill Clinton Democrat. I think the parties, the Democrat Party has fundamentally changed, and that started with Barack Obama, and here we are today. I mean, it is basically a socialist, communist, Marxist party, you know, at this point. Not to say that they hadn't always been bad, because they have been, especially when you think about their policies, but they've been 100% infiltrated, and they are 100% overt, you know, in their agenda and what they want this nation to be if they ever get a chance to be in charge again.
Still seem confused as to why they lost this election. They want to think it has something to do with misogyny or racism. Well, let me clear it up for those still bewildered Democrats. You lost because you tried to tell the American people that the economy was great when they couldn't afford to buy groceries. You lost because you ran a moron in place of a president you knew was a corpse attached to a car battery. Even the Amish, who never voted. It's like, honey, go, Hilda, go get my horse. I don't know what electricity is, but I know one thing, I'm definitely voting against this dipshit. Democrats, you lost because you tried to convince the American people that it was racisty to close the border and not let people come in illegally to rob and murder them. You lost because nobody gives a fuck about the term Latinx. You lost because your Justice Department called parents who showed up at school board meetings terrorists just for not wanting pornography in their children's classrooms. You lost, Democrats, you lost because you lied about January 6th, calling it worse than Pearl Harbor or 9/11, instead of what January 6th really was, the FBI guided tour of the Capitol building. You lost, Democrats, because men can't have babies, women don't have dicks, even if they play in the WNBA. And free speech isn't a privilege like a driver's license. It's a God-given right guaranteed by our Constitution. You lost because you colluded with tech companies like Facebook to silence Americans. You lost because you fired doctors, nurses, scientists, and frontline workers for refusing to take an experimental gene therapy because my body, my choice only counts if it's about abortion. '" 'Cause You lost because during the pandemic, you closed churches and small businesses, but kept open strip clubs, liquor stores, and Walmarts, and wanted us to mask up between bites. I'm just grateful that the American people saw through Oprah's lies, saying that you will never vote again if Trump wins. America didn't fall for Obama in his mama jeans, trying to shame black men into voting for Kamala just because they may have mommy problems or issues. I'm glad nobody listened to Kamala Harris because she never really said what she stood for. Because at the end of the day, just like her party, she stood for nothing. The Democrats had no policy this year. Their only hope, besides calling Trump Hitler every chance they had, was that their hope was that Americans would hate Donald Trump more than they love their country, and they failed miserably because Americans love their country.
And he is absolutely right. Where's the lie? If you heard a lie in Mr. Snyder's soliloquy, if you heard a lie, please, in the comment section. Man, he was spot on with everything that he said, man. Everything. And that is exactly why they lost. Unfortunately, you still have some people that are still on that Democrat plantation. They can't leave, but they're slowly but surely being red pilled. It's happening. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it play out. Maybe I'm a little impatient because I'd like it to happen a whole heck of a lot quicker. But they are definitely losing their base. That is definitely happening.
Feel like you were duped, Van? Like, how do you feel?
First, this book is extraordinary. I don't care who you are, left, right, or otherwise. Anybody who cares about this country and about just the dynamics of power, this is the emperor's new clothes playing itself out in real time. Everybody knew, but everyone was afraid to say, except for David Axelrod for 2 years, that something was wrong here. And so, I was shocked. I love Joe Biden. I don't like him. I love him. I got a chance to work with him when I was a part of the Obama administration and loved him more every day. I was shocked to see his condition when he came out, and so was the world. And that wasn't the first time he was in that condition. The book makes it very, very clear. There are people who knew and said nothing. And that is a crime against this republic. And I think the Democrats are going to pay for a long time for being a part of what is now being revealed to be a massive cover-up.
Now think about this for a second. This is Van Jones, works for CNN, multimillionaire. You think he didn't know? Says he doesn't just like Joe Biden, he loves Joe Biden. This is Jake Tapper, another multimillionaire, seven-figure earner over at CNN, journalist, supposed to be a part of the in crowd. You think these people didn't know? They're part of it. They're part of the grift. They're part of the con. And now, because it's safe to basically get the, get the big truck, the big diesel, roll it over daggone Biden and back it up over him, and let's capitalize on it now because it's safe to do so. These people are disingenuous, to say the least. But I am really, really glad to see that people are seeing through it. A lot of us on this side of things, we saw it. We've been talking about it. We've been screaming to the rooftops. In some cases, they would counsel you. In other cases, they tell you, don't believe your lying eyes. But I'm glad to see that a Van Jones can get on CNN and say, hey, this is bad. Now we find out that there's 4, maybe 5 unelected people who worked for Biden, who was actually running things, actually signing things with the auto pen. I want to know who these people are. I want to know who these people are. Is somebody going to fall on the sword and take the blame? Will the American people get an apology from the Democrat Party for their lies? For this, Jake Tapper got on Piers Morgan the other day and said that this scandal, this situation is worse than Watergate. They interviewed 200 people. Somebody in the chat earlier today said, How'd they write this book so fast? Y'all interviewed 200 people and got a book, and y'all got it pressed and ready to go in 6 months. It just makes you think that they've been working on this book for a year. Rollouts like this just don't happen that fast, normally. Especially when you start talking about a 330 page plus book. It just doesn't happen like that on a normal occurrence. Just saying. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Support the channel financially by joining the ARP family, or you could buy your man a coffee. That link's in the description box below. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. Thank everybody who joins the AR, who have joined the ARP family. Come join us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday for ARP in the morning. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so